We're halfway through 2026 and I think I've just read my favorite book of the year. I'm calling it now, and if I have to eat crow at the end of the year, I totally will, because that just means that I've read at least one other excellent book. When I read the prologue to The Tokyo Zodiac Murders by Soji Shimada, I was a little bit concerned. I'm not the type of person who reads really gruesome, gory books, and this starts out with a bang, let's just say. It also gives you a really good taste of what's to come in the book because it introduces a really intricate mind, and therefore you know to expect a very intricate murder puzzle. This is about a series of unsolved, really incredibly insane murders that occurred in 1936 in Japan, and the present-day detective duo who is hell-bent on solving them. I've talked about a lot of mystery tropes here before. The two in this book that I think are really big are locked room and fair play. Locked room or impossible crime mysteries are known to be really complex puzzles, and fair play are known to give you, the reader, a fair chance of solving that puzzle before the end of the book. This is so fair play, in fact, that the author himself inserts himself into the book twice towards the end of the book to let you know that you have all the information needed to solve the case. There are also heavy amounts of diagrams and maps going on in this book, which I personally love. I've talked about this pretty much any time that I come across a book that has them, but anytime you have this sort of stuff going on, and that happens again throughout the book, it really just emphasizes the complexity of the mystery and also the participation required on your behalf to work through it yourself. I also happen to be watching Death Note for the first time as I was reading this, and even though those are two very completely different stories, I felt like there were a lot of themes that overlap between the two: obsession, manipulation, control, godlike power, and almost like a very intense evasion of the authorities. So even though these are two completely different pieces of media, I felt like one amplified the other in my mind and vice versa. Did I personally solve the case before the end of the book? I have to say no, I'm gonna be honest, but I will pat myself on the back. There are certain elements that I definitely did get right. Part of that might just be instinct and guessing, but I do feel like there are a lot of breadcrumbs in this book, like little clues that you can very easily piece together to at least get a portion of the solution right at the end. That is my personal favorite way to enjoy a mystery. I love getting pieces of it right for myself, and I also really love having the opportunity to be wowed by an ending. This had the best of both worlds, and I think that's really what amplified it in my mind, is this like such an enjoyable mystery experience. And on top of all of that, it had this epilogue that I felt like added a perspective, a layer to the mystery that made it feel more tender and I guess emotional than what I was originally thinking, certainly when I read that prologue. I am exceptionally happy that I picked this for my Red Herring book club, and I hope if you read this with me that you enjoyed it just as much as I did, if not more. But yeah, we'll see at the end of the year if this stays my favorite, but currently I don't see anything taking its place.